beautiful sunshine. And you would never know that people are hiding in their homes all over the place. It's been a crazy week. As you know, a lot of things have changed. Last week, I had Eileen Head as a guest. And yeah, all hell broke loose. I am now a school teacher. Let me make this clear. I am not good at it. So I am coming up with creative ways to keep my kids entertained and learning. As a matter of fact, next week, we are going to be making beer. That's right. We're going to make a batch of beer. I have all this equipment from years and years ago, and I'm going to pull all this out, and I'm going to have my kids make beer, and we're going to learn about yeast and fermentation and all this good stuff. I mean, you know what? It's crazy busy inside the home, but it's, you know, it's a full reset. When you see the Italian canals with dolphins and blue water, like it's a very, very interesting time. I just find it very fascinating. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about your online presence. A lot of people obviously are now getting serious about their online presence. And the one point I wanted to make is some of the stuff I've seen out there is people that have live events, and then they convert them into online events. Fair enough. I mean, we're doing it, and we'll talk a little bit about this later. But here's the thing. When I buy a ticket for a live event on location, it is not the same thing as an online event. They both have very different ways of doing business. And if you are one of those people that are doing this, you might want to look a little bit at how you deal with all of this, because what you do now in times where everything is crazy and everything is stressful, how you treat people, how you make people feel, 6 months, a year from now, people will remember that. So this is a great opportunity to support your community, to pour love all over them, help them in any way you can. And the route that I kind of picked is, you know, there's a whole lot of seriousness out there, a whole lot of people wanting to help you, how to cope with everything. And I've decided this week that we needed a little bit more fun online. So I've put out a couple of crazy, funny videos of doing things with my kids and having fun, just because, you know, right now, what people need is being a little bit lighter and a little bit more positive. Now, I understand that what our business needs is to make money for most of us. I get that. But what your customers need is to feel a little bit more happiness and a little bit more lightness. So, you know, that's the route I decided to take. And now I want to bring my partner on board, Nancy Seeger. Her and I have made changes to Women Talk, obviously. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Woohoo, it's Friday. Hey, so I want to talk a little bit about what we did with Women Talk. Well, first of all, as we all know, we immediately canceled, and we did this quite early on. We're like, we're not fooling around with this. And we canceled all events, didn't we?
We did. We did it the first, I think it was the first Friday. We were immediate about it, getting them canceled, getting people rescheduled, because people's lives are the priority. And you know what? We can still connect. We just don't have to do it in person.
Yeah. So how did we go about canceling our events? Like, it was quite funny because you and I had the conversation, and I made a post about this, because here's another thing too. You find out a lot about your partners in hard times and how they deal with situations. So I found it really funny because we talked and we're like, okay, should we, shouldn't we, how long? And, you know, so, okay. So we're canceling everything until we know everything. And now, I mean, for Women Talk, that's like 10 events in the month of March we had.
Yeah, at least, because we had the classic in Vernon as well. So
yeah. So we have tons of events all the time, and we canceled everything. And then we never discussed, like, and so then what do we do? And what did you, and then you just said, here's what I'm going to do.
Well, you know, when you cancel a live event, literally people are expecting to walk into a room and hear the speakers and interact. And like you say, it's a very different vibe. So our response was to cancel and refund all the tickets and announce and invite for the second layer of what we were going to do. When we reinvented, it's a whole different feel and vibe. It's a whole different experience. Online is the way we're moving towards for some of our events, but you can't recreate the exact same environment, so you're not selling the same product anymore. And so it's really important to be clear on what your agenda is, to be clear on what people are buying from you, because like you say, how you treat people now is what people are going to remember in 6 months' time. We've refunded all the tickets. We've looked at, Bridget's going to announce some really exciting things that we're working on to bring forward, but we're doing it in a well thought out, precise way, because this is our brand, and it also is got to be of real value to our participants and our members.
Exactly. And let's face it, right now, we're not making money, really. Well, we have our membership still, so we want to deliver to our members, but you know, all the events are canceled.
But let's be fair. In times like this, you and I never even talked about what it was going to cost us.
No,
we didn't look at that.
No, I mean, and maybe I mean, let's face it, we're in a privileged situation.
In an extremely privileged situation. We both have other sources of income. And this is something that I always find really interesting. Years ago, I learned this, and I think it's still true. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income to really develop. So for both of us, we have other streams of income. We have other things happening. So you're right. We were privileged enough that we could step back and look at it differently. But we also both came from love and not fear.
Yeah.
Neither of us had any discussions about, and I mean, I'm the hard ass, look at it, analytical, take things, you know, very systemized, money. And reality was, this wasn't the right move. It wasn't important. Our members needed this. Everything was in turmoil. They needed to feel the love. They needed to know that we would support them no matter what.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, for me, this whole ordeal, it's been very difficult for me because I literally love my tribe. I like to be around all these women. And, you know, it's kind of a weird, like, you know, love is a big word. And it's not like I love the people necessarily, every one of them individually. Yeah. But as a tribe, when I have this room full of these women that are willing to create this safe space, it is just, I just love it so much. And, you know, I've been sitting here at home and it's all gone right now. And I know it's coming back and I'm a positive person, but let's get real. Like, it's hard.
It is hard.
And I want to love them, you know, and we're doing some fun stuff and we're doing different ways of delivering what we deliver.
We are, and you know, but for us, the tribe also includes our directors and our chapters, and of course, for us, we waived all those license fees as well for the time being. So we really, you know, it is about supporting them and how we can. We've asked in the groups what they're looking for rather than just jumping in and creating things. But Brigitte also, I mean, come on, you have to announce some of the fun things that you're going to do because there is fun things coming up. We do have big plans.
I know. Actually, you know what? I forgot to put the picture in here, but I'll post it in the feed below. So on Saturday, we're doing an event for our members, and it's 2 lies and a truth. And we're using, so here's a cool thing. For those of you that weren't online before, you've been hit with a very hard lesson. You must learn how to be online. This is the time. But we are really good at this. Both Nancy and I have been using it a lot. And so we're going to be doing this thing where 2 truths and a lie, and then people are going to do their stories, their 3 little stories. 2 are lies and 1 is the truth. And then everybody's going to vote and see which one was a true one. So it's going to be a good giggle. And here is exactly what we're talking about, right? We want to deliver happiness.
And a positive experience. It's about engaging in a way that works. And it's not always about, I mean, I'm the teacher, I'm the technology person, that's my go-to. And I have had no less than a dozen requests this week to be part of somebody else's teach me how to get out of this problem. And I'm there for all the members. Any member who needs a consult, I've said this repeatedly, go to my site, book a half-hour call with me. I'll answer your questions. There's no issues. Our members come first. But the reality is that we're in a really creative cycle of innovation, and everything we do is going to be so different coming out of this. But if we can't laugh at it and we can't have fun through it, we're not going to see the opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then, so the other thing that we are doing is, let me bring this baby up here. So we are going to, let me see. Actually, I'm going to put us in the lobby so they get a good look of this. Hold on. Back up here. And there you are. So we're going to be doing our very first online event, but here's how we went about it. We refunded everybody. So usually to come to a Women Talk event is $20. And we are hosting this event. It's going to be the same agenda, or the same event, with all like the 3 talkers, the motivational talker, the historian who's going to share a story about a woman, and we're doing it for $5. So, you know, we lowered the price because we know it's not the same, and maybe we'll have tons of people that will attend. The link will be below in the feed, so go and buy your ticket. We have somebody from Portugal who's actually a psychic and saw this coming. She's going to share part of that story. It's crazy, crazy. And then, of course, Bonnie, who's a director of Women Talk, and then my wife, who's in the newsroom right now. She's a radio announcer and announcing all the doom and gloom every single day. It's like, oh my God, no kidding. It's pretty tough situation right now. And then Michelle, who's actually watching right now, there she is. Hello, Michelle. She is going to be our motivational talker. So she's going to do her 10-minute motivation, 8 to 10-minute motivational talk. And then we're going to have a historian, Helen Rose from Canmore. Woo, I almost forgot. Is going to be doing the story of a female. So it's all going to be, all you have to do is you buy your ticket, and then we're going to send you the link to a private Facebook group where the video is going to play in that private group. It's as easy as it gets.
Yeah, and there'll be lots of engagement. You can chat on Facebook. We'll be there to, I'll be in the Facebook room answering questions and just helping coordinate. So, you know, get in there and share it. And sorry, don't share the event. It's a private event, but get in there and share your story and your comments and interact with the speakers. The speakers will also be in there interacting when they're not talking, because each of these talks are 20 minutes. So we'll make it as close to a real event as we can. Technology limitations doesn't let us do it totally, but let's have some fun with this and see what we can, you know, pull together and connect together for one night a week.
You know what's really cool about this? Actually, last month in Cochrane, there was somebody that talks about ADD, and she's a coach for this. And I was kind of thinking, holy shit, I think I might have that. And one of the things she was talking about is when you get an idea and you're ADD, like you just interrupt people to say it. Like it's so frantic in there. And I was thinking, oh, the live event, you can actually talk while people are talking. And you're not interrupting.
You're not interrupting them, and nobody's going to shush you because you're going to be on Facebook.
So it'll be really cool because while somebody is talking, you can actually comment and go, oh my God, that's so true, or whatever. So it's going to have a totally different feel. Now, I've never done it before. We've never done it before. No, this is our first time. And you know, Nancy, you're looking at some different ways of delivering this in the future, because that's here to stay. The online event will stay no matter what happens.
Yeah, we're going to look at some ways to deliver this online going forward, and how to structure it and the technology. One of the big things, of course, you know, with all the changes, everybody's getting free Zoom for a couple months, everything else. All of this technology infrastructure is not solid right now. It's another reason to not rush online if you don't know the tools really well. We're using proven technology to deliver this now, but we're looking for ways to get more engagement, to make it more fun, to, you know, to get more personal in it, and to bring it closer to a real live event. So we're looking at some different technologies. The technology may change, but the actual event will continue. It will be online. It will be some way of getting involved. And it, you know, as much as possible, we'll try and make sure it connects to Facebook. It may not always be on Facebook, though. It might be in a private group separate from that, but the links will be there to people who bought it so that we can, you know, keep making this happen.
Yeah. And so if you had one piece of advice coming from a technical person, you know, what should people do right now? Like, let's say I have a business, whether it's a store or events or whatever, and I need to find a way to go online. Like, where do I find the information, or what's the best step to take?
Well, so the best step right now, if you've never been online before, then I would say, I always, you know, any time a crisis comes up, go back to your SWOT, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? If your strength is not in technology, right, and that's one of your weaknesses, go partner with somebody whose strength is there. Go find somebody in your tribe who can support you and who you can both work together to make it happen, because we don't have to have the answers all ourselves. We just have to know who to talk to. And there's a ton of free advice out there. The biggest problem is when things like this happen in crisis, you're going to get overwhelmed very quickly trying to learn all of the technology. So, I mean, if you understand your strengths and weaknesses and opportunities, it's very easy to map out, okay, I can survive for 6 months, so I have time to learn some technology, and here's what I can do now. And then you can plan, right? It's very simple. But partnering is the easiest and fastest way to get yourself into the right situation. If you know, like, and trust somebody, this is the time to partner up with them if they've got the technical experience, because some of this stuff, like even, you know, WordPress and stuff like that, it can be very simple if it's done correctly, or it can be very frustrating.
Yeah, and the online stuff and video, and it's so crazy out there right now because some of them have become unstable, right? Like we were looking at some platform, you know, and you're the guru in that. Like I'm good at hosting it and I know how to do it, but once we get out and look at different things, you know, you're my partner. That's why I partnered up with you, and I listened to your advice because there's some like amazing shiny platform out there for doing online events.
There is. You know, the technology's always changing, and there's always new players that come on, and there's always, you know, and right now what I'm seeing, which is kind of scary, is there's a bunch of enterprise platforms that are being offered to small businesses. And of course, the problem with that is you don't know what you don't know. So when you get into some of these things, they look like they're really stable. They look like they're really good. Like the one that we considered 3 of them right away, did some immediate research the first weekend. And I said, I don't trust this one in particular because of history and other things. And it turned out that by Monday, this particular platform was crashed, done. We haven't heard from them. I think they're getting up now, but it's going to be a while till they're fully functional. So it is about, you know, going with what you know. Don't overreact, don't overcompensate. Just partner with the right people, and yeah, stay very zen, stay very centered. Hey, how's your meditation going? I saw this week you were going to try meditation.
I haven't done any yet. Actually, I was joking. My meditation is cooking.
Yes, it is. And you know what? Meditation is different things to different people. For me, it's walking. I go for a walk in nature, and that's the best. I mean, I meditate every day. You know that. We've traveled together. I actually meditate every day. But in the reality, you know, the best way to calm myself down and get back on track is to go for a walk in nature.
Yeah. And you know, actually what I've done is I don't listen to music as much as I used to. And so this week I pulled out, you know, I have Alexa, like Amazon Music. And so I pull out like Elvis playlist. And these are all songs I know, and they're all such happy songs. They're all about love and being a teddy bear and one night with you. Right? So I am just blasting Elvis, and it makes me like I think it was Monday we talked. Like it really got to me. Yeah. You know, I was crying. I'm missing my events and everybody. And I went to Costco, and it was freaking weird. People with masks and you know, and then I kept listening to the news, and every, you know, inch of negative news they can find, they announce it. And it
Yeah,
was
and
just, so I was crying. Like, I was just not feeling very good. And then it's like, all right, we need to do some cooking, put Elvis on, and have a beer.
yeah. And you know what? That is, music is really so good for your soul, for everything, right? It's, I mean, I used to only clean the house when I could blast the tunes, right? Because that's just the way it is. But yeah, I have a happy playlist too. I'm listening to it often.
Yeah, so do it, right? Like these old songs that used to bring you joy from, you know, I made my kids dance to Tina Turner yesterday.
Wow.
I told them, like, oh, you guys, you think you're like so cool with your TikTok stuff. It's like, I'm going to show you what real dancing looks like. And we put Proud Mary on and just gave her. And if you look at my feed, you'll see them. I made them do it live too. Some people were laughing. It's like, oh my God, the look in your kid's face is hysterical. Because the kids are also worried about all this, you know?
Of course they are. They're all, you know, they feed off of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're actually going today to get all the school stuff out. Like, this school is done. You got to go take all your stuff. And I don't think they'll have school again this year. But yeah, the government is actually making an announcement. I think today it's going to be online.
Yeah, they're moving a lot of school online just because they have to. And again, this is where all the businesses and all the schools and all the technology is moving online. So it's stretching the resources that were there. These systems were not, you know, people don't pay and build up the systems that way. It's going to take a few weeks to a few months to get this all adjusted.
Yeah. And like any other ugliness that happens, whether it's flooding and now the virus, there are a ton of golden opportunities, right?
You and I've talked about this. There's about every 8 to 10 years, depending, there is what we call a cycle of innovation. And every time something major happens, there is this whole cycle of innovation in the technology world and in the business world that changes how business is done, changes how products are delivered. And so it's really about tapping into what's the next opportunity. I mean, I can't tell you this week, I do coaching calls. For those of you who don't know, I do coaching calls for a couple different software companies. And most of the calls that I've had this week, they're all saying, what else can I do? What's the next step? What's the innovation I should be looking for? How can I recognize it? Because it really is about, you know, what's the cycle of innovation? What's going to change in your industry? The way we deliver products and services and everything is going to be a big deal. I had a great call with a massage therapist this week. And one of the things that she said to me is, I've already told everybody, I sent my email and told them how I'm cleaning my office and all the extra things I'm doing. And I'm saying, okay, the one thing I would add is put a 15-minute break in between each of your clients so that they're not overlapping, because people are afraid to bump into other people. When she did that, her bookings went up by 20%. Now, she can't do it remotely. She has to do it in person. But by giving that extra level of personalization and allowing people to say, yes, I want that extra 15 minutes, her bookings went way up. So sometimes it's the small innovations, but sometimes it's just how we think about things, right? It is about finding that little opportunity. And there's a million of them every day.
Yeah. And you know, I always say, like, when something, what you think is negative happens, it takes you on a completely different route that you would have never, ever seen. And what can happen there is beyond your imagination. There can be amazing, amazing thing. You know, same thing with school. I think that the schooling system, a lot of it is so, like, it was created for factory workers. It's been outdated for quite a while in a lot of them. And this is like, reset button, people. We need to be more innovative. And the same thing is happening to a lot of our businesses. So let's not fear it. Let's, like, have an open heart, suck it up, and come's not coming in.
And come from love, not fear. If you're coming from loving your tribe and what you can deliver, you're going to find something new that's really going to make it for them.
Okay, I want to make a mention here. This lady, Kathy, amazing, amazing lady. We host our events at her restaurant. She has built this little restaurant by the Bow River here in Calgary. And, you know, they've been hit hard. Like, they're closed down and they had all this food. So what they're doing is they're preparing meals, freezing it, and delivering it to people who need it.
Awesome.
So let's make sure that we remember this lady and support her when we go back out and eat. Angel's Cafe here in Calgary. So thank you, Kathy. And Nancy, I know you have to go. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Go to womentalk.ca/online events to get your tickets. $5. Oh, wait, I'm too close. Woo, right there. $5. Bye.
Bye, everybody.